Hey everyone, Delphi Group here with our weekly market report again that we put out that we do every Tuesday for everyone out there to kind of help navigate the markets. So we're going to do something a little bit different this week. Okay, you can see here we have a trading view up. We'll get to Thinkorswim and some other stuff too. But we shared this with the community in our Discord in the Delphi room, which we'll get to in a second. But what you're seeing here is our cycle line, okay? And again, this is for our community. We've traded this for over 2 years. Nobody in the world has this but us. And you can see what happens when the indexes get to the cycle line. They reverse, right? Down here, they reverse. Here, up, right? Here again, recently up. Well, we're not talking about the cycle line right now because this is hitting later in October. But what's interesting here, in which we shared with the community, we actually took some index SPY puts today, short-term and long-term, which have done amazingly well. But we are at a point here in the cycle where this is the SPY, where the SPY tends to reverse or take a breather, okay, for a week or less. So you can see here, I put this watch reversal in, by the way, before the SPY actually reversed, which was pretty nice. But again, here as well, here we are. So you can see, history kind of repeating itself. And, we are in this area right now in the SPY. Okay, so we basically just took this price action for fun and copied it or cloned it on here and just added it to the current SPY price action to see maybe if this plays out. Okay, so this is something to watch. We are leaning towards a pullback. Maybe towards the end of the month next week. And what's interesting as well is this measured move from the past lines up exactly with the 50-day moving average right there around 650. Now, we're not saying this is going to happen, but just something to watch, okay? And again, we did take trades in SPY puts for the community, which if we just jump into the Delphi room here, you can see this is our chat. A lot of times we post trades that we feel are very volatile. Obviously, SPY 0 DTEs, which you see here, we took some 666 puts at 68 cents. And as well as some longer term ones not really longer term, for next week. But we can see what those did today. Okay, we cashed out for about, close to 200% on this trade, which you can see here we got in at 68 cents, which we just showed you. And those got over $4 today. So, again, we're not just about a trading signal. We're not just about, UOA option flows. We are traders here, and we're constantly watching the market, watching for trading edges to, set us up long or short. Again, we make money going up and down. Obviously, these were puts. So all we care about is we get the direction right. Okay, so here we are now on the SPY daily chart. And we've been saying we are in this up-only market. So what we've been kind of saying is watch the 20-day moving average. So you can see here our targets recently in the past hitting every time the SPY in this case got under the 20-day. The 20-day is right here, roughly around 657. Okay, so because of what we're seeing on the cycle, because of what we're seeing maybe short term, we are going to go lower. But another thing to watch here too, and again, this is the same for all the other indexes. If we look at the weekly chart, okay, we need to watch this now because we currently have a more than well extended stale green light. Okay, stale green light is normally when you have 3 or 4 weeks in a row, green or red. But we are now on week 8. Okay, the last time we had this many weeks in a row, I had to go back a while, which was back. Where did I see that? That was back. If I maybe pan out a little further, it was back here. Okay, so if we look at here, there were 9 weeks in a row, and you can also notice the volume going down here. Okay, well, that led to a red week, and you can see what happened here with the SPY reverse. Now that doesn't look like a lot, but that's about a 12 or 13 point drop in the SPY. So just be very mindful that on the weekly charts as well as the monthly. Okay, if we look at the monthly chart we're now on 5 months green. Now, I'm not saying we're going to come down next month. This is a pretty bullish candle, but short term on the weekly, you need to watch out now because volume is going up on the way up, which is bullish. Today is not going to be, well, this is the weekly chart. So, we're in Tuesday. I don't know if we're going to even get that high. So what this could mean, next week we could see a red week to kind of to end the month. Okay, we are still bullish going towards the end of the year, especially maybe Santa Claus rally. But for these other reasons, short term, okay, we are looking for a pullback. So I am going to make a forecast here, as well as the other indexes. I'm going to look for a move just in the SPY, kind of back down towards the 20-day moving average. Okay, that's kind of where I'm looking for next week. Okay, Qs is going to be similar. And then I'm going to have a couple bonus look-ins for you guys as well. We haven't done that in a while. Q, same situation. Look at the volume going lower. CCI, stochastic, our favorite indicators, starting to go lower as well. Stochastic crossing with a sell signal on the CCI as well. So there is a gap here. Okay, that gap is around 584.5. So I am going to go lower towards that open gap. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm going to go for next week's forecast. I do think maybe we could get a little breather or cooling off period in the markets overall. IWM, okay, same situation. We have a shooting star here at at this move higher. So I am going back down towards that 20-day moving average down this way on IWM. Again, look at the volume drop on IWM. Okay, so that's the forecast for the weekly, the indexes. Let's look at some bonus look-ins now. Let's look at Amazon. And there's the closing bell. So Amazon is in trouble here, okay? We have traded Amazon twice today and done amazingly well. We've gotten over 100% on the first trade inputs, and again on the roll that we did, a put roll, we cashed out the 100% winner. Wanted to stay in this trade because we do think it's going to keep heading lower on Amazon to stay in the trade. Okay, we cashed in, and now we basically have a free ride on playing house money on more puts lower. So this is one to watch. This is a big name. Okay, we jumped in puts right at the open today, thankfully, on this break of this trend line, and because it closed under the moving averages. Okay, so that is Amazon. And one other thing to watch here, as our members know, Amazon is an amazing gap trading stock. Okay, there is a gap here down near 210. We would say 90% of the time Amazon fills gaps and then reverses. Okay, even just recently, look here. Amazon, there was a gap here. Okay, it left on this gap down. It not only filled the gap, but then it reversed lower, and then it filled this gap, and then it reversed higher. Okay, and then you can see another gap here that was left on the way up. It filled this gap here and then reversed again. So we do think this gap is in play. Okay, but first things first, we're probably going to get more momentum tomorrow because look at the volume going up on the way down. So we are looking maybe for a continued move lower, maybe down to this 215 level. It doesn't mean we're going to stay in the trade to fill that gap, but something to watch on Amazon here, okay, because we do think we will see continued move lower. Out of all the big name stocks, this looks the worst. Okay, and one other name we're going to look at is QS, okay, quantum space. We recently had a trade here on calls off the UOA, which we did really well on, but this is starting to look toppy here. Excuse me, on QS. Okay, we can see we have, again, stale green light volume going down, CCI now heading lower, stochastic way overbought and looking to head lower. So there is going to be a resistance here at this previous high. So contingent on a pivot, again, a pivot will be a lower high, lower low, which could come tomorrow actually. We are going to go lower down to the moving averages, which is around 1050 or so. So that's a $3 drop in a $13 stock. So that could be a very good percentage trade move. So we're just going to go lower here, kind of mimicking this angle here. Okay, so we are going to go this way, back up, maybe right towards this high here on QS. One thing to remember though, this is one of these, we're starting to call them meme stocks like in crypto, where these stocks are just kind of going up just relentlessly. Okay, if you look at some other stocks here that you might want to watch out for, OKLO has been in the news a lot. Okay, remember, this is a daily chart. Not too long ago, this was a $60 stock, and now we're nearing, over the 140s. Again, we would not be taking long positions here. Just be very careful. Again, look at the volume. Okay, we have, what is that, 4, 8, 9 straight days. The volume's going down, CCI heading lower. So just be very careful. If the indexes start to go down, taking a breather this next week, I would expect these stocks to really sell off hard and maybe even faster and earlier than the indexes. There's not much support here, so just be careful about this one. Another name is the IONQ, which is in the quantum names. Again, very similar to OKLO. Look at this one. This just recently was at $41, and now we're nearing 100% move in a very short period of time. We have a bearish hammer there. Again, we do have higher volume today on that bearish hammer. So just be very careful with these names. We know they're just pumping for no reason. What the funny thing is that we actually got into this name over way back when. We were very bullish quantum back down here when it was at $6, $7. So we are not in the name anymore, unfortunately. We wrote it up and actually got out in the high 40s from $7, because then you could see what happened after that. But just be very careful with these names. There's a lot of hype going on, and at any moment they could pull the rug, and you could easily see this back down at $62. Okay, so that is it from us. Hope you guys enjoyed this. We gave you guys a couple bonus names to look at, and let's see what happens the next week. We'll see for a breather. Shorting this market has not been easy, so if you do decide to short it, as we have, take those profits when you can get them. Don't get greedy and stick around too long. Take care. Have a great week, and we will see you next Tuesday.